Taxes, inflation, and the breakdown of the family are causing us to fall behind. We have the lowest net worth in the United States, and I'm sure those numbers cross the border as well.
Some people get the disability tax credit and they don't open the registered disability savings plan, and that's where the government puts in all the money of grants and bonds for a person with a disability who has done all the steps. Some people don't do all the steps.
Good morning, everyone. It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2018 Innovation Award winner, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers. It's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And being part of that team, I've reached out not me, the team, not me. The team, it's not just me, the team has reached out directly and indirectly to over 400,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers around the world, which is a blessing. And actually, the team, we're just compiling our numbers for this year, and it looks like we're going to hit over 100,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers again this year. That is a good thing. So as always, I'd like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. You're watching The Morning Vibe live on December 6th. Yes, holiday season is hitting or has hit. So just want to make sure that everyone is in here. My co-host Ryan Knight will not be joining us today, so I'm going hand solo. So please bear with me in regards to a little bit of production and doing everything on my own today. Hey, good morning, Minnie on cam. Hope you are fine and safe. Thanks for chiming in. And you sent me a text message this week that really touched me. So thank you. I'm humbled of the words you shared with me. It's been one of those weeks where I've needed that, and they've been, it's been a blessing where I've needed some extra vibe. People that I don't even people have come to give me some vibe that I didn't ask for. So I want to say thank you. You're one of those people this week, so I appreciate that. Hey, good morning, JJ Mars from Colorado. How is weather down there? You finally pushed the Colorado weather up here to Toronto, because was it Wednesday? We've got some snow, some wind, some rain, and we've been in a deep freeze ever since. Actually, I was supposed to go to an event. Was it on Wednesday? With my parents, and my parents says, can't go, don't want to go outside, So hopefully we're going to go to the event this weekend. So looking forward to that. Good to have people on here. So a few things I want to catch people up on. As always, subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. We haven't hit 1,620 subscribers yet. So on YouTube. So if you're inclined, please subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube. Tell people about it. Share it out, etc., etc. Excuse me. Water time, I can tell. All right. Also, like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. If you want to advertise your business, product, or service on any of the platforms that I'm a part of, please feel free to email me, dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. Also, join the Morning Vibe Discord group. Email me again, dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. And then finally, we cannot forget Indie Soup Media, independent content creators platform charged and powered by my good, I hope I can say this. I'm just going to say associate. I hope she calls me a friend by now. We've been digital friends for a long time. Dr. Tachi out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Been around now about 8-9 months, over 20,000 subscribers, and we were chatting up to yesterday because we're collaborating on some other things. So check it out. You catch different or edited versions of everything that I appear on that platform. So support. All right, let's see what else is going on in regards to message this morning. JG Mar says, cold this morning. In Colorado it is, and in Toronto it is. Yes, it is cold. And Fitness IQ Cam, morning. I was hanging out digitally last night with Fitness IQ Cam, testing a new broadcast platform. So sometime this weekend, I'm going to go on unannounced and just test out this platform. But I have to say thank you for taking her time last night. I was fooling around with it, so I'm getting a better hang of it. And so looking to switch from the live stream platform that I'm on right now. So what's been going on? Oh, actually, Very important, very important. Want to share something here. It is December 6th, and it is an important day, I think, not only in Canada, but around the world. So I'm just going to pull something up. We got some new things. This is today, but we got another thing coming up today. But today in Canada, it's the National Day of Remembrance and Action on Violence Against Women. So it's been over 30 years since the murder of 14 young women at Polytech, Montreal. This happened in December 6, 1989. This act of violent misogyny, I hope I got that right, shook the Canadian country and led Parliament to designate December 6th as a National Day of Remembrance and Action on Violence Against Women. There is a list of names, and this is from the Government Canada website, saying, as we mourn the loss of their lives, we affirm our commitment to fight the hatred that led to this tragedy, misogyny. That's it, misogyny. I got it right. That still exists today. And in our world, women, girls, and 2S LGBTQI plus individuals face unacceptable violence and discrimination. Gender-based violence in Canada has been magnified and amplified by the COVID-19 pandemic. There have been reports from police services, shelters, and local organizations of an increase in calls related to gender-based violence across Canada during the pandemic. The National Day of Remembrance on Action on Violence Against Women is about remembering those who have experienced gender-based violence and those who we have lost to it. It's also a time to take action. Achieving a Canada free from gender-based violence requires everyone living in this country to educate themselves and their families and communities on gender-based violence, center the voices of survivors in our actions, and speak up against harmful behaviors. So you can wear a white ribbon, and observe a moment of silence at 11 o'clock this morning. I will be doing that. So there's different things here. So this is from the Government of Canada website, and I wanted to just share that this morning. And I will say it. I become someone who is close. Has been providing me education about this area, and I'm letting the universe speak to me on how I can be a bit more proactive in speaking out against that. So if you guys have any ideas on how I can further and speak out about this, please feel free to do that. But in the near future, again, I put it out in the universe to let the universe take care of that. So I just let the universe take care of that. And if you have any thoughts on, how we can educate, prevent violence against women, I know some women in my journey that have been impacted by this, and I've had some conversations and read a lot over the last week or so that's really impacted me. But I'm letting the universe or the powers that be above me take me where I need to go with this. But it's something I need to act upon. I'm just waiting for the right direction, the right guidance. So I just wanted to share about that today. What's been going on with everyone else this week? It's been a crazy week. Weather-wise in Toronto, around Toronto, just outside Toronto, they've had a pile of snow. So I only had to do a little bit of shoveling. But outside of that, it's been okay. Like I said, learning a new platform. I'll share a win that I've had this week. I think some of you may or may not know, I've been a certified coach since 2015. And the school that I graduated from, one of the gentlemen who runs the school, him and I've had a great relationship from the time our first phone call was actually back this time around 2014. That was our first phone call. And we've been good associates since. And he came to me. JJ Mar says earthquakes in Cali. Yeah, I heard something about that. Was it this morning or was it in the last day or two? I did hear something about earthquakes in Cali. Well, they're prone to have it, right? They're prone to have it. So I hope, JJ Mars, you haven't been impacted or you didn't get any aftershocks. All right, cool. And who's liking? Good morning, Larry Hand. Thank you for liking the conversation. Oh, he says this morning. Okay. Hadn't heard that as of yet. So you are our beat reporter, our beat digital reporter. That is good stuff. All right. So yeah, I can't remember what I was saying. I forgot what I was saying, but yeah. So, about the school. Yeah. So we're having a conversation yesterday, and now he has asked me. I'm already a trainer for their school, and now he's asked me to become a mentor. So I'm going to be doing mentorship now for the school students, which is very humbling. So didn't ask for it; it just appeared at the door. So I'm very humbled and blessed to have that opportunity. Okay. Mignon Kemp says, I've connected with Trauma of Money on Apostle certification, create a financial literacy for disability. Oh, for disabled individuals and families. I've got a squeaky chair. Man, I wish I had enough time to fix that, but I won't be able to. So please bear with the squeakiness. All right. What else is going on today? What else is going on today? Yeah, so that's been part of my week. Yeah, lots of things. Mind setting to 2025 and continuing to serve people. But I'm always blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles and a solution for someone's problem. And I got blessings this week from people. I wasn't asking for it to, but it came to me. So I'm really humbled. And remember too, even though it's quote holiday season, unquote, holiday season isn't always a happy time for everybody. So don't make the assumption, which is a word, one of the most dangerous words to use in the world, assumption. Okay, your chair distracted while yes, I know. If I had about 3 or 4 minutes to fix it, I would, but I don't. So bear with it. But next time I'm on, it will be resolved. I know how to resolve it. So sorry for the distraction, Mignon Cam. Please forgive me. Give me grace. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to just take a little bit of a break. It is the first Friday of the month. And those who are familiar and those who are not, Wayne Harris is going to be with us. He's going to be talking about consumerism and blacks, and a great topic to chat about, especially at this time of year. So we're going to be back in just a moment. And here's something new that the regulars, you haven't seen it yet, but if you're brand new, it's brand new. Here we go.
Are you struggling with high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or any other health issue that you were not born with? Friends, if you were not born with these specific issues, they are reversible. Most of the time, it's a lifestyle disease. Did you know that genetics has less than a 10% role to play? How we eat and how we live is what makes the effect on our health and whether we are going to feed disease or starve it. Stop struggling alone. These issues are absolutely reversible. Join one of our programs, fill out the form below, and let us help you on the road to healing. We will design the specific customized detox, a lineup of juices that you will use throughout the week that will help restore your energy, reverse high blood pressure, get rid of cholesterol, bring blood sugar down naturally. Stop suffering alone. Let us help you restore your health naturally today. Fill out that form and we'll get you started right away.
All right. Carolyn Nicole of Energy Shack Juice Bar talking about the great things that they do to help people's health. Now, the form that she was talking about, if you want to fill out that form to get a consultation, on the screen here, there is the website address. I'm also going to put it in the comments. So definitely, and also too, if you mention the Dr. Vibe show or the Morning Vibe or Dr. Vibe, you'll get a regular consultation for $49 instead of $110. And then finally, if you just want to find out general information about Energy Shack Juice Bar, on the screen here, here's the website address, email address, Instagram, Facebook, and phone number. And I'll put all that information in the comments if I can do everything I need to get done today for that. All right. So there we go. And then ironically, coming up on this Monday show, Carolyn Nicole, certified holistic nutritionist from the Energy Shack Juice Bar, will be talking about how much alcohol is too much alcohol. Because we know that people like to indulge at this time of year. So she's going to be talking about the good and not so good, or how much, if you do indulge alcohol at this time of year. All right. So as I mentioned, we have Mr. Wayne Harris going to be joining us now, wearing a nice sweater. Need to unmute myself, my brother. Mute yourself, my brother.
Good morning, doctor.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. I'm dressed for the occasion.
Yes. Is that a Montreal sweater or a Toronto
Buddy.
sweater?
I'm not playing with this weather, eh?
What, man? So for people who haven't met Wayne and myself, Wayne is taller than myself, but people regard me as tall. But with the weather that went on this part of the week, with the wind, I tell people I may be a big guy, but it makes me feel full of holes if I'm not properly attired. It is windy out there, brother.
1,000%. And it's I don't know. It's a dry cold, not a humid cold. So
yes,
it's right to the bones.
100%. What's been going on in your world?
Everything's good, man. It's gala season. Where's the Gala King?
Gala King ain't here today, so maybe he's out on tour. I don't know, but I know you had a chance to go to Pilball Clement's event.
We were there 2 nights ago, and it was amazing. 2 nights ago? Thursday night.
Thursday night. Yeah.
Listen, this guy puts on a great show. He and his wife bring in some of the best talent. They had a gospel choir. They had Deborah Cox, Sean Jones, Jack
Julie
Armstrong from the Raptors sang.
What?
Jack
Armstrong?
Unbelievable. Listen, Julie Black? It's crazy.
Wow.
Very good.
Well attended as always.
Always.
Wow. Very good. Very good. Well, let's get right into it because consumerism and blacks. Why did you want to hit this topic today?
Doctor, I gave you some some clips.
Do you want me to show one or two of them?
One. And let's start it right there.
Okay, so let's see if Dr. Vibe can pull this off. So let's go to this clip. All right, let's try. Okay, let's go to Ashley Adams. Share. Okay, let's see if we can pull this off. Here we go.
Yes, sir. Elaine just sold her soul for this 2021 Corolla. Elaine, how much did you put down?
$0.
And how much is your payment?
$399 a month.
For how many months?
420.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
420. Now I don't know if that was real. Now maybe they're doing it as a skit, but 420 months, brother.
Well, let's just go to the calculator for that and do 420 months times $399. That's $167,000 for the car, and the car is used, by the way.
Yeah.
Even if it was new, even if they gave me 5 of them, 6, it's still not a deal.
No, it isn't. But are you meeting clients that are putting themselves in these situations?
I'm not in Canada, but I have met people who have 7-year, 84-month leases.
Come on.
29.9% at over $750 a month for a 5-year-old used vehicle.
When you hear that, what does your heart do? Carolyn, you can't listen to this.
It tells me that their credit rating is shot and they are buying cars from places of last resort. New car dealers will not allow for those types of loans. They're going to be lenders. And these are lenders that will charge much more than the banks will because they're taking on more risk. So what they're saying is, we don't trust you because credit equals character. If you have low credit, in the eyes of the financial institution, you have low character. You don't keep your promises. You do not pay on time every month. So if we believe you have low character, then we have to get as much of our money from you as soon as possible before you do what you do, which is default or walk away. Okay, which could be the same thing, or declare bankruptcy or go to a consumer proposal. So when creditors don't trust you, the interest rates go up. So I've met people with 29% and 39% car loans.
No.
Yes. And because this is their second car loan, they have rolled the balance of the last car loan that was bad into this car loan. So they're basically paying for a Nissan, but at a Benz monthly rate.
Wow, that is a good analogy. So we already got some comments hitting up here. Mignon Can says $420 month, 5 years is 60 months. Yes. Fitness IQ Can goes, that video upset. She puts upsets in capitals. Me. Yes. And Mignon Camp says they need to go into a 6-week financial coaching program that Credit Canada has, learn how to get out of debt so they can get back to life. Well, they need to see Wayne, to be honest.
So we do. I have a credit repair and debt management partner in my ecosystem of services that will help people with this sort of thing. I had a lady a few years ago. She had about $42,500 in revolving credit, and no matter what she was doing, paying the minimums plus $10, she was never going to get out of it. So we went, talked to our company, we worked out something for her, and in the end, through consumer proposal, again, her credit was already damaged. We got her down to $8,500 and $150 a month. She paid that off in 3 years. Her credit went back up to stellar, and now she's fine. And now she's looking. Now she's learned her lessons, because we have programs that tell you how did you get there in the first place, and how do you avoid going back into that level of debt. And she followed suit, and she's good to go. So I'm very happy for her, and she's doing well now. And we do that all the time.
Okay. I got a number of questions to ask you. You mind if I fire away?
Fire away.
Okay. Unless you have some things you want to share first, because it's all about you first, and I can ask questions.
No. It's okay. You have another video I sent you. Send the other one.
Oh,
it's even worse.
Oh, okay. You want to? Okay, let's do that.
The fire. Let's just light the fire here.
Okay. Is that the Houston? Okay, I've got another one I'm going to show here. I say Houston. Houston, we have a problem. Let me just let's see. Houston car dealer. Okay, let me do Houston. All right, let's. Okay, I hope it's. Let me just make sure, because there's 2 Houston ones you've sent me. I just want to see which one is on the screen. So let me just see. Okay, all right, we got that one for me. All right, here we go.
Let's go. Nate got the Toyota Camry 2020 with the red interior. Miss Nate, how much did you put down?
$0 down.
How much was your monthly payment?
$5.99.
For how long?
427.
Take a look.
That is how much? Can I get it? $255,733 for a 4-year-old Camry with red interior.
Oh my goodness. Okay, before we go into some more things, Dr. Tachi, good morning, Dr. Tachi. Hope you are doing fine as always. Mignon Camp says the Credit Canada program is free too. And Dr. Tachi goes, wow. Wow. All right. So let me ask you, how would you define consumerism, and how does it specifically impact the Black community today?
Great question. Consumerism to me is buying things that usually are of depreciating value, buying things for the status, so buying things you don't need with money you don't have to impress people you don't know or don't like. Okay, that's consumerism to me. So when you are trying to do something to keep up with the Joneses, to represent a certain level of wealth or affluence, and really don't have the funds to do it, this is where you do the self-medication of shopping to raise your self-esteem, right? The super rich, you look at Zuckerberg, you look at Gates, you look at Jobs when he was alive, you look at the president of NVIDIA, none of them wear brands. Everything they wear, plain, they do not advertise for free. Imagine paying money to put someone's logo on your body. That's what we're doing when we buy whatever brand we're buying. Anytime it has a logo on, you should be sponsored. Okay? When Lewis Hamilton wears all those logos on his F1 car and all those logos on his body, he is being paid. But we're out there spending our money, after tax money, by the way, to go out and advertise for these companies. And they're brands that are aspirational brands. So aspirational brands will be Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Montclair. What's the other one there? Balenciaga now, which I didn't know anything about a few years ago. Versace, Armani, MK, Hugo Boss. These are all aspirational brands, and people wear those brands proudly. I'm not going to tell you don't wear your brands. Some of the stuff that they actually sell is quality. But if you'll notice, most of those brands have outlet options as well. And what we've learned over the last 5 years is that the outlet option is designed for the outlet. So it is not the same brand you will get. If you go to Harry Rosen, you get one brand. If you go to Harry Rosen outlet, there are brands made specifically by those big brands for the outlet and the discount price. So it's not the same brand at a lower price. It's the same brand, different quality at a lower price, and usually lower quality. So consumerism is spending money where whatever you buy is not an asset, it's something that's going to cost you money in the long run. So if you're going to buy, let's say, poor people will buy things as soon as they get their money. As soon as they get their money, they're going to go out and buy something, right? Rich people don't buy things. They buy assets that generate money, and the money that generated from the asset buys things. So again, you have to be in position, and Toronto is very, very expensive. Where are you going to find these assets that are going to generate money? So this is where people need to start thinking and put on their entrepreneurial hat. Even if they have a full-time job, you can still be entrepreneurial and find things that will, if you buy it, can you turn it into more money, right?
All right, got some more comments here. Mignon Cam says, anything beyond 3 to 5 years makes my heart hurt. And she said, yeah, consumerism is built in systemic barriers created out of capitalism.
Yeah, capitalism, I would say a lot of marketing. I mean, I want you to understand that, 100 years ago, the major holiday was Thanksgiving in the United States. Nobody really cared about Christmas. But then a little company called Coca-Cola that is red and white saw what was going on with Europe with this Kris Kringle and weaponized that into Santa Claus and made Santa Claus the spokesperson for Coke. Why? Because no one was drinking Coke in the winter. It's cold. So no one's thinking about Coke, especially in the Northeast. So we think about Coke maybe between March and October. After that, we're putting away Coke and we're getting something, a warm drink of some sort. Coke wasn't having that with the sales going down in the winter. So Coke weaponized Christmas. And now Christmas and the white polar bears and Santa Claus are ubiquitous. But this is marketing. Has nothing to do with religion. Last I checked, Santa Claus isn't in the Bible.
True. Okay, so let me ask you, and I'm going in today with you, man, because I really want to go deep with this because this is a big issue and a big concern on my end. What historical factors have shaped the relation between Black communities and consumerism in North America from your lens?
Great question. So if you let's look at American history because they actually have race-based stats. We have a problem with that here in Canada still for some reason. There are companies out there doing things with race-based stats up here, but they are few and far between. Let's go 1619 to 1865. You are enslaved as a person of African descent. You can't buy anything. 1865 to 1965, you are Reconstruction and Jim Crow. But right around the 1950s, you start figuring out that if you have a skill, depending on where you are in the United States, you can actually get a decent job, right? Especially in the Northeast, right? Maybe in the Southeast, in certain parts, you can get a decent job. And you start making a little bit of money. Well, because you've been downtrodden so many years, you want to aspire to the culture that's in power. So Robert Johnson, who owned Ebony and Essence magazine, came up with a video that's on YouTube that talks about marketing and selling to the Black man.
The Negro. Yep.
Negro.
Yeah.
And he talks about how we like top shelf stuff, high brands, because usually we couldn't get access to it. So we aspire to those brands. And basically what he was doing, it was kind of a parody, to be honest. The video shows Black people going into stores that are not owned by them, buying these things, China, hats and different things for a middle-class Black glitterati that was coming up in the 50s. But it was really a parody. What he wanted was for white companies to advertise in his Black magazine, because they would not advertise in a Black magazine if they didn't think the people in those who read those magazines could afford to buy their things. So he made this whole narrative about Black people aspiring to those brands, and some people took it literally. It was parody, satire, but he needed to do that to get the Fords, the GMs, the Chryslers, the cigarette companies back in those days, to get them to advertise in Ebony, Essence, and Jet. And that video is out there, and people took it at face value without inspecting it and critically thinking about it. And that was the beginning of the codification of Blacks liking these aspiring brands. Like, I talk to certain people, and they buy cars that are worth more than their annual gross salary. Right? They buy them used, which is smarter. But maybe you shouldn't have, Lexus taste on a Kia budget. Let's just say. If you can afford a Kia, drive a Kia. No shame in the game. We own a Hyundai, no problem. Right? Nice. We also own another car, a Benz, but it's diesel. Now, I'm Bajan, so I'm tight. Right? That vehicle can go to Montreal and back on one tank of diesel, which is why I bought it, because I was going back and forth from Montreal the last number of years, as with my father, and also with my business. I go to Ottawa and I go to Montreal. Now, what was happening is when you're driving on the 401, which is one of the busiest highways in North America, when you get past Kingston, you see a lot of roadkill. Now, that's because of the truckers in the 18-wheelers hitting these animals that are crossing the 401. And you see a lot of blood. Well, here's what I know. If there's a deer and I'm in my car, deer wins. If I hit a deer with the Benz wins, which is why I bought the Mercedes. Yeah, I bought it used, 4 years old, got it at a great price. Why? Because I knew that car would go twice as far for the same money, and the engine is bulletproof. It'll go 1 million kilometers if I treat it right. And it's over 250,000 now, and I'm loving it.
Love it. Beautiful. Beautiful. So Dr. Tachi says, I saw that. She saw the movie. So I'm just going to put up there in the comments that The Secret of Selling to the Negro. I've put it in all the comments on all the platforms. And also I'm going to put it on the screen too. Here's a banner. Yeah. It's The Secret of Selling to the Negro. There is the YouTube link on most of the platforms that you're watching this live on the replay. I've put the link. So definitely check it out. It says a lot. It says a lot. And people go, oh, I get it now. That's one of those. Okay. Good morning, Ted E. Evans. Hope you're doing fine. Mignon Camp says that sales training video is awful. But it's real. It's real.
Satire.
Yes, Dr. Ty says, by the way, I love the sweater wearing. It looks like you're going fishing in Nova Scotia or Prince Edward Island.
Dr. Tachi, what do you know about these places? You're downstairs. You're down there in the States. What do you know about that?
Hold on, but Dr. Tachi did her undergrad at the University of Buffalo.
Well, close enough. Close enough.
Well, look, she probably knows, and don't come at me, African Americans. She probably knows a lot more about this country than most African Americans. Let's put it that way, right?
Facts.
All right. And Mignon Cat says that is people who are very easy to herd like sheep. Absolutely. 100%. Dr. Tatch also says we are doing the same thing with handbags. Like, why do you have a 35,000 Hermes Birkin or Kelly? I don't begrudge people who want luxury, but put things into perspective, people. Sheesh.
So I have a friend who loves brands, and she would fly to France.
No, don't start. Don't start.
To go to the Hermes store to buy her bag in whatever color was the most rare. And again, when you go into the Hermes store, if they let you in, they say to you, we don't have that. If they look at you and they don't feel that you represent their brand, they will tell you we don't have any in stock. Then another person will walk in and they'll say, yes, we have it. Here it is. She was paying $20,000 to $25,000 per bag. Now, here's what she told me, and what was true when the economy was strong. The Birkin bags, the Chanel bags, go up in value. Yes, it's a store of cash. It's an asset class. These bags are a big deal for very, very wealthy people. And I don't know who's buying them used, because if you're wealthy, you're not buying them used. It's the people who are posing who need that bag and will buy it used, right? That's why Range Rovers used are one of the most sold cars, because the rich people buy them they don't buy them, first of all, they lease them, and their companies pay for them. They drive them for 3 or 4 years while they're under full bumper to bumper warranty. And right about the time when this car is going to give up the ghost, they hand it back to the dealership, get another one for the lease, saving on taxes. And then the person behind them buys this car and will drop, if they're not dropping $4,000 a year in maintenance, I'll be shocked. At least $2,000 to $4,000 per year to keep a Range Rover on the road once it's out of warranty. One of the worst cars you could ever buy, right? But it's beautiful. Listen, when I see them, I'm like, this guy is balling. I love them. They look great, but I know all you have to do is go to Shoppers Drug Mart and open up a consumer's report. Don't even buy it. Just open it up and go to Range Rover and see. You'll see all the X's. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. But people do it.
My goodness. All right. More comments, and the families chime in. Mignon Kent says, my messenger bag is $30. I had it for 5 years and replaced it with the same bag for $30. All right. Dr. Tachi is giving some education. Anyway, we had a Canadian geography and history in elementary school, so she remembers that. Okay.
I love it.
Mignon Kent says, Chris Ducker or Donald Miller has an episode of The Lady Who Restores brand name bags and made a business out of it, aspiring the high brand name tags.
Praising, yeah.
And
there's a market for it. And all I'm saying is, before you buy a $30,000 Birkin, you might want to be out of your mother's house. You might be want to be out of the twin bed she bought you when you were 12 years old. You're still sleeping in as a 35-year-old. Maybe you want to take care of those things first before you go out and buy a Birkin bag. That's just me.
Okay. Dr. Tachi says it's true. They do go up in value. Influencers buy the bags used, but it sends a message to their audiences that is something to aspire to. She also says she has 2 sorority sisters who bought Range Rovers. They are teachers. They already made me look at them side-eye. They had so many mechanical problems that cost so much each time they took it in.
Yes.
All right.
Preach.
Dave Lindsay, what is up, my brother? Brainwashed by Tom Burrell is a good book to get into. All right.
Well, look forward. Thank you.
And Dr. Tachi is laughing with your commentary, Wayne. So this is good stuff this morning. So let me ask you then, do you believe the prevalence of consumerism in Black communities is a result of systemic factors, cultural influences, or a combination of both?
Yeah, great question. A combination of both. I think that when you've been, again, there are some that are going to look at our history and say, hey, listen, we had it bad for so long, buying a nice car, the Cadillac was saved by the Black person. If not for Black people buying Cadillacs, Cadillac would have been gone a long time ago, because Cadillac became an aspirational brand. Just like Ciroc is a aspirational brand for Blacks. Sean John, right, was a brand. Fubu was a brand for us. Cross Colors was a brand for us. 100 Miles, local guys, a brand for us. Shout out to Maurice. So we want to support our own culture and our brands. Rockefeller Records and Jay-Z. What was his? It wasn't Fat Farm. That was Russell.
Can't remember his. Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah.
Jay-Z had something. Rock Nation or something.
Rock Nation. Well, Rock Nation is, I can't remember, but Rock Nation is one of them. He
had a fashion brand as well. 50 had G Unit, whatever. I think that because people attach their self-esteem to outward accoutrement, so they're going to buy. Like, I've seen some people wearing glasses with the gold and the bling. I don't know how they see. There's so much stuff going on their glasses. They're going to have the gold chains. Right? They want to wear their wealth. They want you to see them winning. That's why the car must have rims. It must have tint. It must be shiny, right? It must have, my clothes must be on point in the right brand. No one's wearing Fila anymore, but 25 years ago, Fila was the brand. Today, if you're caught wearing Fila, people wonder, people hand you money. Here's a $5 bill. Go get yourself something to eat. If you're not wearing the major brands of the Black culture, and the major brand of Black culture right now is Nike, right? And Jordan brand, and has been for almost 30 years. If you're wearing anything other than Nike, people look at you side-eye, right? I saw a great deal on a white pair of K-Swiss. I go, K-Swiss? Haven't seen these guys in years. $16.99? I'll take it. You know why? Because I don't care. I'm grown. But there are people who will, listen, I've seen people not wear a brand because everybody in their cohort wears Nike, so they can't buy that Puma that's on sale. Even though it's just as nice. Probably made in the same factory. They won't do it. So that's one. Keeping up with the Joneses, wearing our wealth to show people that we're doing okay. The second thing is hip hop has evolved as the voice of the culture. And hip hop is saying, well, here are the fancy cars, here are the fancy girls, here's the fancy house, here's the lifestyle. They're not saying how they're paying for it, right? They're saying they might be getting it from nefarious means. But they're saying, listen, if I'm a hip hop artist, a basketball player, a football player, artists of some sort, music and entertainment, this is available to you. But the richest Black man in the United States, Stewart, is not a musician. He's a businessman, finance guy, private equity guy, computer guy. And this guy makes billions, but we don't talk about him. And most people don't even know who he is. But we know who Jay-Z is. We know who 50 is. And everybody wants to hear every election what Ja Rule has to say on the Breakfast Club, right? Every 4-year cycle, right? What Beyonce and Megan Thee Stallion have to say about Kamala. And this is why I think the Democrats lost, to be honest. This placating to a culture that's embarrassing for me. I don't care what Beyonce thinks. I don't care what Taylor Swift thinks. I want to know what your policies are, specifically for people who look like me, and tell me what you're going to do to change my lot in life in terms of putting some systematic things in place for me. We have some systematic things against me. What are you going to put for me? Okay? And I didn't hear much of that from either side, right? Because if you watch Godfrey on IG, Godfrey talks about the cabinet for Trump, and there's a bunch of people who look like us who were touting what Trump was going to do. Byron Donald, Tim Scott, Candace Owens, and others. And they all thought they were going to get taken care of. But just like 8 years ago, no lunch for you, no food for you.
None for them.
No food for you.
He only has one Black person in his cabinet. It's a man, one, and that's it.
I don't think he's Black.
Okay.
He's Indian.
Let's more comments. Dr. Tachi says Fat Farm was Russell Simmons.
Thank you.
Jay-Z was Rockaware.
Rockaware. There you go.
Okay. Minion Cam says, I remember Sean John's shoes. Minion Cam says that was high school for us and people got into fights over someone stepping on their shoes. Correct. Facts. Dr. Tachi says, Minion Cam, yes, I'm like, you're 10. Why do we need drunk elephant skincare? Minion Cam says, Dr. Montreal was put age limits on kids buying skincare products. I didn't know that.
Yes.
I didn't know that. So it says, Dr. because many of the skincare products irritate or burns the skin of a young kid already productive bear that diminishes after 25. Okay. Dr. Tatsi says, yes, they should. Their skin barrier is not fully developed. And some of these products contain rubbish ingredients. And they're going, the ingredients are needed for age skin, not for children's skin, as I'm asking my dermatologist. All right. So my next
point for you, Dr.
Go ahead.
I want you to understand this, that a lot of the Black products we put on our skin and on our bodies were originally founded by Black companies, but those Black companies have sold out to non-Black interests to get access to the market. What's the largest organ in your body, Dr. Vibe?
Isn't it your skin?
Correct. And your skin absorbs everything. So when you come out the shower and your follicles are all open because of the hot water, and you take these products that are full of petroleum products and byproducts, and you put that into your open follicles, into your skin, bad things happen, right? Black women can talk about this. I don't know if you have someone on the Morning Vibe who talks about health and the correlation between hair care products in the Black community and fibroids. The connection, the direct connection between fibroids in women and the hair care products that they're putting into their open follicles in their
Yes.
head.
I know someone who's talked about this with me offline, and it's something and one of the things I want to push more into the new year, since we're getting there, is the whole aspect of health care in many different ways. So Mignon Camp says baby powder.
Yes.
Dr. Chad says this is why I have to be careful. We have to be careful what we put on our skin and our hair. And Mignon Camp says, and how many companies are being sued for hair relaxers?
Buddy, did you find out ginger ale has no ginger in it?
I make my own.
Good.
A homemade. Ted comes in and says, Wayne, you hit the nail on the head about American politics. The Democrats missed the ball by not detailing how policies would benefit the people, assuming they do have a plan. Okay. Next,
Agreed.
You talked a little earlier about aspirational buying. So how does the concept of aspirational buying and keeping up appearances manifest in Black communities, and what drives it?
Again, when you dress better, right? When you speak better, when you live in better neighborhoods, your identity can rise. Okay, so I'm not saying you can't aspire to better brands, better neighborhoods, better education, right? People want to do that. Mignon Camp talked about it, a few comments ago, where capitalism and consumerism kind of go hand in hand. But people want to feel better about themselves, and some of these brands give them that gravitas that they don't get when they're working 9 to 5 in their job. They're not getting that respect in their job, or they're underemployed, which is mostly the case for a lot of people who don't have skills that are of value in today's economy. So I'm not going to say your skills aren't of value. Your skills aren't of value in today's economy. They're not adjusting and they're not leveling up, right? So these people will buy things, brands, like the whole reason Toyota has Lexus is because Lexus means luxury for the US. Toyota created Lexus. The name is a made-up name. Lexus is luxury for the US market because people didn't want to buy Toyotas. People wanted to buy an aspirational brand, and Lexus was an aspirational brand.
Lexus. Okay. Okay.
Luxury, US, Lexus. So once they did it, Nissan did it with Infiniti, Honda did it with Acura. Buddy, a Civic is a Civic is a Civic, but a Civic to you is an IL for me, Acura IL. And because I'm driving an IL, I'm better than you. And no one does that better than our culture. It doesn't make any sense. Drive the Civic, bro. Why pay another $2,500 for the exact same car with an Acura badge on it? Drive a Pathfinder, not a QX50. The Pathfinder is less expensive. No one's coming to steal a Pathfinder off your driveway, but people will steal the Infiniti. Doesn't make
100%. 100%. Ted says, yes, fibroid has a direct connection to perm and tings. Chemicals are a killer to us. More comments here. Book, The Financial Activist Playbook, 8 Strategies for Everyday People to Reclaim Wealth and Collective Well-Being, written by Jasmine Rashid. Love the book recommendations that are coming here. Nice. This is beautiful. Dr. Chachi says, and Hyundai did it with Gemini.
Sorry, Genesis.
Genesis did it with Genesis. Hyundai. Let me get that correct. Yes. Hyundai did it with that. Let me see. So let me ask then, so what are some of the major barriers of wealth building in Black communities, and how does consumerism exacerbate these challenges?
Well, first of all, Trump came up with the term Black jobs, which is kind of hilarious. And I think that the Black culture in the United States is not monolithic. For every Dr. Tachi, there's somebody who's down there who's not doing very well. And we know that what we celebrate are I don't know what you want to call it. There is a virtual Black person. This is the every Black person. It means this person represents all Black people. And in the minds of some of the policymakers, this Black person is unskilled, uneducated, doesn't have any ID in their pocket to vote. This person is downtrodden and a victim of society. And that person is who they want to represent as Black people, that they need to be cared and fed by the Democratic Party. Republicans say, we don't believe that to be true. We believe that you can have your own businesses. We believe you can aspire. But again, if you take the mantra that the Black people need to be helped and that they have learned helplessness, this is what some of the parties are saying we represent. And this is not true for me. It is not true for anybody who's on the Dr. Vibe show. If you're coming on this show at 9 o'clock on a Friday, you have the flexibility to be on this call for an hour and a half. Most people have to go to their jobs. They're at work. They may be listening to it in their headphones, but they can't be sitting at home watching the Dr. Vibe show 9 o'clock on a Friday. You have to be in a certain place in your life to be able to attend the show. This would have to be a show after 7 o'clock in the evening or on a weekend if you're talking to that figurative Black person that America is marketing to. So I want you to think about this. Yes, we're aspiring. There's a book called The Psychology of Money. Okay? I don't have the title here. I have it upstairs. But The Psychology of Money, because we learn about money from our families and from our culture. Right? So you have to ask yourself, why is it you want these things? Who told you should want these things? And why are you following suit without even any self-reflection, right? Or any inspection of why you are thinking the way you think. Why do you want Ralph Lauren polo tops? Why do you want, what are they called? True North jeans back in the day, they're $400 or $500. Why? I mean, back in the day, for me, it was Jordache and Sergio Valente. And these girls and people were competing with pockets. My pocket design versus your pocket design. We'll find anything to monetize and extract money from the community. My thought process is simply this. If you're going to have aspirational brands, why can't those aspirational brands be Black brands, Black-owned brands, right? We drive cars for years. We make cars at Ford and GM and Chrysler. Why doesn't someone make a car? Elon came out of nowhere and made a car. Why don't we make cars? Even if it's combustion engine, right? They're saying those are going away by 2030. We'll see. But why don't we do something with the things we love? Why don't we have rim shops and tire shops and tint shops and a chain, like a franchise of automotive repair, right? Why don't we have those things? Why do we have to go to Canadian Tire and go to in the States it would be Pep Boys and these Kmart Automotive and whatever. I don't know, Kmart still exists. I don't think so.
Don't think so.
Costco Automotive. Yeah. Why is the money leaving us to go to these brands? And why don't we get any benefit back in our community or culture from these brands that when I say that we support them, we support them. People will buy nothing else but these brands. But these brands don't, as far as I can tell, don't give anything back into the community that's supporting them. There's no community centers, there's no basketball courts, there's none of that. But we support them blindly. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay, more comments, and we're going to bring up a real in-time example of what was we're talking about here today. Mignon Camp, another book, family. These is great stuff. I need to create a book page in the Discord group. But here we go. Mignon Camp, Financial Feminists: Overcome the Patriarchy's BS to Master Your Money and Build a Life You Love, by Tori Dunlop.
Cool.
Just Tornado. So good to have you here. I jumped into your spiritual morning the other day. It was fantastic. And I didn't realize we knew each other from Blab days. So people, if you don't know what Blab is, go look it up. It was one of the first platforms that really brought in live streaming community-wise. So good to have you here. Dr. Tachi says hello also. She says, hey, Dr. Tachi. Also, yes, Dr. Vibe Show, doing well. And if you want a good way to start your day, go check her out. Follow her on YouTube. Fantastic stuff. Actually, I'm going to see if I can get her on the Morning Vibe one morning. Mignon Cat says women weren't allowed to have bank accounts. Yeah, I this is very interesting to the 1970s. So it's a huge divide in many of the intersectional demographics. I'm finding some stuff I'm going crazy. Another book, The Psychology of Money, Timeless Lessons on Wealth, Greed, and Happiness, written by Morgan Housel. Also, Maniac Camp, Goodyear Tire. Yes. Dr. Tachi says, Jordache, Victoria Vanderbilt. Oh my, Sassoon jeans have had people in chokehold in the 80s.
Sergio Valente.
Sergio Valente. Oh yeah. Was it Tommy Hilfiger or Ralph Lauren that stirred? I think it was Tommy Hilfiger that stirred up the black.
Yeah, it might be urban legend.
Okay. But here's even a better real life example. Has anyone heard about the recent controversy about Walmart in the US?
Yes.
So you want to go ahead, Wayne, talk about it. I was going to bring it up. Go ahead.
Yeah, Walmart and a number of other large companies are dismantling their DEI programs. We're 4 years past George Floyd, and now they feel the coast is clear. We also have a change in regime in the United States that is anti-DEI. So they're going to get rid of it, and they are unapologetic about it because they've been doing the math, and the math is not working in their favor. Remember, corporations have two mandates. One, to make profits. Two, to increase shareholder value. DEI is bolted onto that, and they should be doing it, but they do not need to or want to under the current regime coming in January of next year. And with the affirmative action loss for the universities, Blacks and people of visible minorities go into certain universities, those spots are no longer held aside for them. And they got rid of the DEI, they got rid of the affirmative action for the universities and colleges, but they did not get rid of the legacy programs. If your grandfather went there, your father went there, you get in automatically. That's legacy. They did not get rid of that program. That's why George Bush Sr., who was smart, could go to Yale, and George Bush Jr., who is less smart, could still go to Yale because he's legacy. They didn't get rid of the legacy program. The legacy serves the people who have been going to these universities for many, many generations. They still get served, but they're locking down the numbers for the other visible minorities. So DI programs disappearing. I knew it was only going to be a matter of time. Up here in Canada, we have the Black North Initiative, and we'll see what the tail of the tape is for that program that's been running for almost 4 years. When West took it over, I know some good things were done in the first couple of years. He was all over social media and media, but now we're 4 years in. Let's do a report card on the Black North Initiative and see what they're doing. I will go and investigate that, and I'll get back to you in January.
Well, every year, one of the newspapers here, Globe and Mail, do a review of the companies that signed the pledge, and it hasn't been really good from what their lens. But just to add on, the controversy with Walmart in the United States, as Wayne mentioned, they're rolling back all their DEI programs, and they just this week put an ad out recreating the two main characters from a great movie called Love Jones.
I remember Love Jones. Yeah,
great movie. And people say, oh, so here you go, Walmart. On one end, you're rolling back DEI, but then you're marketing to the Black American. You don't want to hire us. You just want money from us.
And that's the definition of consumerism. So you're spending, you have no voice.
Exactly. So people you haven't checked out, just put up Walmart Love Jones in your browser. You'll read the controversy about it. We're going to be talking about it this weekend on Primetime Saturday. But Dr. Tachi catching up here. Just turned it out. We'll check out the show. Meaning on Kansas, Tori Dunlop sources wherein women weren't allowed to have a bank accounts in her book. Okay. Josh Tornado says, those that I have seen attempt to start these type of vendors can't seem to get the support from our own demographic, though. Not without wanting, quote, discount, unquote, or, quote, deal, unquote. Dr. Tachi says, I have a Be More coming out talking about this. There's a Walmart Love Jones inspired commercial. Yes. After they dismantled, yep, big time. George Tornado says, I often wonder if they talk about Gucci or Prada and ask, hey, can you cut me a deal on this bag or shoes?
Well, listen, the mantra is simply this. we believe that the other people's ice is colder
Than
than our
ours.
ice,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we don't want to buy our ice. Our ice has obviously got to be flawed because we go into the transaction believing that if I pay full price to this person who looks like me, I am at a disadvantage and they are at an advantage, and I can't have that. And this is the mental slavery. So, Bob Marley said, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. We need to emancipate ourselves from financial slavery, financial mental slavery, because we are competing with each other while the real game is being fought at a much higher level. While we're down here in the bottom, scratching for 5 cents off on a ting soda. By the way, if you're drinking pop, I recommend you don't, based on the amount of sugar that's in pop. Yes. So we really have to figure out if we even if we are not subscribing to the crabs in a barrel mantra, we still act that way. There's still a lot of people who don't want to see other people who look like us win if they believe it's at their expense. Now, no one wants anybody to win at their expense. But if they're winning and they're doing good things for the community, how is it at your expense? If we support Buy Blacks Restaurant Week and we go to a Black restaurant and buy something there, that family is going to benefit because we're giving them their business. Now, they don't have any fiduciary duty to put that money back in the community. They can just take care of their family, which is their responsibility, right? If they want to take care of the community, want to donate, they want to sponsor things, that's great. But that's not a given. No one goes to Steve Jobs and say, yeah, you got, he was Lebanese, half Lebanese. They'll say, hey, Steve, you got to go and support the war in Lebanon. Make sure you take some of the billions you have and go take care of business. There is a moral obligation and there's actual obligation. And we just see how people move, right? Anything that's going on in the Black community that makes sense, I will cut a check or I will donate time or resources. Anything that's not, I don't. Just because this is the way they've been doing it for 50 years. You call it, what do you call it? Ameribana, right?
Ameribana.
Ameribana needs to be canceled, right? And it needs to be canceled until every penny that's generated from it comes back to the Black community in some way, shape, or form. I want daycares. I want long-term care. Now, these things should be funded somewhat by the government and the taxpayers because they're required, but they're things that we can do for ourselves. That Ameribana, over the last 57, 58 years, could have done when things were dirt cheap in Scarborough, North York, Etobicoke, Rexdale. There are buildings there that could have been bought, that could have been hubs for the Black community over the last 57, 58 years that are not there, as people had a great time, had a great lime, as they say, and the money went away and they lined their pockets and they did their thing. Now, this is capitalism. Capitalism does not have a conscience. So we're not supposed to expect them to give back. But there's a fiduciary duty to the culture, I believe, that you should want to give something back for this money. But you don't have to, because capitalism, increase profit, increase shareholder value. And that's what they're doing and have been doing for 59 years. But now they're begging the city for $250,000. No, don't give it to them.
Because it's going to go to waste.
It may, whether it goes to waste or it doesn't go to waste, the city of Toronto benefits greatly from Ameribana.
Yes, it's a big, good ROI.
It's good ROI, but what we have are people who don't understand the power of what they have and how to negotiate with that power. So they keep coming to the table as if they're powerless, yet they have 1 million people every year for 58 years, all spending $100.
There you go. There you go.
Right? And that's coming to the city. It's coming to the hotels. It's coming to the restaurants. It's coming to the liquor store. All that's tax base. And I think the number was almost $500 million that was coming from Ameribana on every year. You have negotiating power. I don't understand why they're not using it. I don't understand why the people at the table who can negotiate with the city of Toronto and the powers that be. Because last I checked, when I go to Vegas for my convention, the people that organize the convention buy blocks of hotel rooms. Blocks of hotel rooms.
And
They have at a discounted price, right? And then they get themselves a kickback on those hotel rooms, right? Imagine if Buy Blacks and Caribana or Maribana were together, and you would buy not just your hotel package, but you would have restaurant prefix packages in the Black restaurants across Toronto. Simple stuff, right? I'm sure there are Black Uber drivers. Well, why not have a platform where when you get off at the airport, a Black Uber driver is guaranteed to pick you up so that they get taken care of? The ecosystem is there. It's pretty straightforward on what you need to do to make it happen, because you would book the Uber in advance when you bought your restaurant and your hotel.
Yeah,
everything would be there.
You buy the bundle.
You buy the bundle. And you don't have to think about it.
Right. It's
right?
They do it in the telcos. Buy your bundles, and insurance companies up. You the bundle, the whole bit.
Right.
The whole bit. Let's catch up on some comments. They are flying in. She's saying you should have Jasmine Rashid on the show to talk about her book, Financial Activists. It's a new compared to the Tori Dunlop book. JJ Mars says most DEI never help Black people, just smoke and mirrors. Controversy going on in Toronto right now. Sunrise Caribbean Restaurant is being sued for not paying their employees.
Yep,
I heard about that.
Mm-hmm.
Someone you may know, Heather Harris, Magnificent Morning, Dr. Vibe Wayne, and the Vibe Nation, True Spoken. JJ Mars says, I was part of a group locally that invited a CEO to speak to us. He lied all day about how his company was committed to equality. Oh boy. Heather Harris says, as the saying goes, the time is always now. Miniam Cam says, the law of repository. Miniam Cam also says, my workplace
or reciprocity.
Reciprocity, probably. She has my workplace coming buys out the whole resort, not blocks of rooms around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Not the whole resort.
Yeah.
Minion Cam says, I like that idea about bundling. Office of Tim Frey says, morning. Dr. Tachi says, hey, Heather, what's up? Next question, conversation we have for you. So what are the major barriers to wealth building in Black communities? And how does consumerism exacerbate these challenges?
But consumerism puts you in debt that doesn't give you any return. So if you buy a house, a triplex, a duplex, it's debt. But that debt's going to give you a return. It's called a tenant. And again, in Ontario, tenants paying their rent is hit or miss, depending on who the tenant is. You really have to do your due diligence. Not only do you have to do a criminal background check on these people, you need to do a credit background check, because these people are professional non-payers of rent. But if you get a rental property, that's good debt. If you buy a car, a big SUV, black, and you become Uber XL, yes, it's debt, but that car will more than pay you back, because you're going to go out and get the higher end Uber deals. And you can go airport runs or downtown runs for VIPs all day, and that car will pay for itself, right? You can use Turo and rent the car out to people and let them take your personal car for the day or whatever and make your money back. Airbnb, you rent a place, you Airbnb it, whatever you make above and beyond what you pay in rent, the debt is doing good for you. So if the debt's going to give you back a return, that's good debt. If the debt is just going to take money out of your pocket, it's not good. That's why the principal residence is not a good store of value. People say, oh, I want a house, I want a house, I want a house. Yes, get a house, but get a house that has income. When you look at the Italians and the Portuguese down in the Danforth, they have a storefront downstairs, they live upstairs. Then they buy the building next to it, the building next to it, the building next to it, as they have equity from the first building. Everybody wants a single family home in the suburbs. Single family home in the suburbs makes sense-ish, because there's no money coming in. You're paying the mortgage out. So if you're not going to put yourself in position through STEM, science, technology, engineering, and medicine, law, or accountancy, you're not going to do one of those core things that we know makes real money. Okay, and you're going to go do something else. Your choice, because that's your jam. You want to go do it. No shade, go do it. But understand, you have to figure out how to monetize those gifts to survive in the second most expensive city in Canada. You have to figure out how to monetize it, because otherwise you're going to, it takes $26 an hour minimum to survive in Toronto. If you're making less than $26 an hour, you're not going to make it. You're going to need multiple jobs. with minimum wage at $19 is too low to live in the GTA. So what are you going to do to put yourself in position? I don't care what you do, but $26 is a minimum bar. Most people aren't doing that, so they're going to fall behind. They're going to start using their credit cards, easy pay, cash money to subsidize their lifestyle. And this is why they get into more debt. So if Black people do not want to go into STEM, law and accountancy, they do not want to do skilled trade, carpentry, plumbing, electricity, bricklaying, crane operation, heavy equipment, truck, excavator, they don't want to do those jobs, then you're putting yourself at a disadvantage, right? Because the service industry is going to be replaced by AI. I remember booking travel. I would leave my yard, Dr. Vibe, and go to a travel agent and sit down, and they would show me brochures and then book that travel for me right there. And I was happy to do it. Then a little thing called Expedia came up, Travelocity, Kayak, and everything else. And that was the end of them. Okay?
Another great example, Airbnb.
Airbnb. So I remember I would leave my yard, Dr. Vibe, and go to the post office and buy stamps. When's the last time you went and bought stamps, Dr. Vibe?
Ha! Long time. Even, yeah, that's a long time. Long time.
Okay. So now Canada Post has been on strike for 2 weeks. You know what? Meh.
Exactly.
Because you're getting your bills online, Dr. Vibe.
Yep.
You're getting your bills online. Only thing that comes in my mailbox is the Canadian Tire flyer.
Yeah, and Shoppers Drug Mart.
And Shoppers Drug Mart, right? And a bunch of junk mail for duct cleaning and home renovations. And maybe the local realtor.
Recycle. That keeps recycle people in business.
All right. So we know things are changing. Canada Post hasn't seen that change. When the fax machine came in, that hurt Canada Post. When email came in, that hurt Canada Post. When FedEx, UPS, and Purelator, and Canpar, and DHL came in, that hurt Canada Post. And now we have Amazon, who have their own distribution network.
Say that keyword D word again.
Distribution network.
Distribution. People don't realize how important that word is in a capitalist economy.
Correct.
Distribution. Okay, Hayden Morrison says, I'd love to know how much money has been spent on efforts to direct the psychology of Black people. How much of it is intentional? I'd say a lot of money, and most all of it intentional.
Listen, what we're learning is I'm not gonna say every. I don't want to be monolithic. Many other cultures practice strong group economics because there's a fundamental value system in their culture. And they do group economics. So 2 brothers will buy a house together. 2 cousins will buy a house together. 2 friends who go to the same place of worship will buy a house together with no problem because they understand the assignment. But I see so many people coming to me saying, I want to buy a condo. A condo. Listen, principal, interest, taxes, maintenance, over $2,100 a month for a 1-bedroom. So if you're going to rent it out for $2,100, which is what you can get for a 1-bedroom, maybe 22, 23, you're break even if you're lucky. And if that person leaves or damages or doesn't pay, you're screwed. It's too tight. It used to make sense.
That's not even including if you have a car.
If you have a car. So you're out of pocket $2,100. You haven't eaten yet. You haven't done your car, your home insurance, your car insurance. Buddy, it doesn't, the math isn't mathing for a lot of
100%.
people.
There we go. So Tim Frey, good morning, Tim Frey, as always. Mignon Kansas Living Wage Network updated their numbers. I bet you they're not in line with inflation or cost of living. She goes, I miss my flight center. Yeah, and she misses her royal travel over at Keel and Finch. She says, Canada Trust's been on strike for 3 weeks now. JJ Marr says, here in Colorado, the majority of construction jobs are filled by Hispanics. I know many Black men who are locked out of this trade.
Yes, and we got here first, but again, we weren't organized. Remember, the Hispanic trades in the United States are usually not unionized, and you can pay them a lot less than a Black person who's been in America for 400 years is going to respect. So they'll do it for less, and they'll do it quietly. Whereas we're going to ask for more, and we're going to tell you about it, because we're the Blacks who are down there. They're not immigrants. They're American, born and bred, been here for 400 years. They should not be getting paid a discounted wage. But because of lack of organization over the last 60 years, right? I'm not going to talk about before Jim Crow, but since Jim Crow, what have you done to organize yourself and organize the trades, especially in the Southeast, where the influx of talent coming from south of the border is so potent? You have to create a different value proposition for your people to be put in place. And also, you have to ask the people who can afford to pay for Black or Hispanic labor why they're choosing the lowest common denominator to their own demise. Because if they hire non-Black for let's say the work is exactly the same, lowest bidder usually wins. It's capitalism. But if the lowest bidder puts your kids whose house they're fixing at a disadvantage in the next generation, you got to think in the long game. Better to hire the Black contractor who's going to do equal or better work, so your kids have a place to go work, should they want to be skilled trade. So we have skilled trades here in Toronto. We have an African Canadian contractors, a construction association.
Yeah.
And they're doing their thing to try to get the collective economics working. But this thing's only been around 3-4 years. Canada's been around since 1867. We're getting there, but we're getting there slowly.
Well, so let's catch up on some comments here. Good morning, brothers. It's Paul Osborne. Also says he loves the gems you're dropping. He says, Wayne, I owe you a call. Call him. Please call him. Dr. Chachi says, right, they are building 2 houses next door to me. All the construction workers are Hispanic, but it's not the same ones every day, leading me to believe they're just one-day workers.
Sure.
Mignon Camp says, yeah, day work is the quickest way to get cash. Absolutely. And Dr. Chachi says, indeed. And she says, yes, my younger is a plumber. Hopefully he does not keep buying brand new cars.
Yeah. I would love to do a how money works for the trades, because these guys are getting buku dollars, but they have zero financial literacy. It's all motorcycle.
You know what? Let's chat offline, because I know some unions that are Black, like the union reps are Black individuals, and may allow you to do a session with them in regards to financial literacy in those areas. But it's interesting, and talking about family business too. Cam Fitness says, me too. What? You got to tell me, me too. But around the corner from me, there is it was many years ago. This gentleman had some sons, and he started a landscaping business. So in the summertime, cut trees, mow your lawn, etc. In the wintertime, snow. And the thing is, it's now gone generational. His sons are now running the business.
Love it.
It's going, and I said to myself, man, I don't know if there are any out there, any Black-owned landscaping businesses out there, because it's a cash cow. It's a cash cow. Like 2 or 3 years ago, I said, hey, can you do my dad's place for snowball? He says, no, we only do commercial now. He said,
makes
no.
Sense. Because residences get upset when snow lands on the ground at 5 o'clock and you're not there at 5:01. They forget you have 100 other clients.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he just says
commercial pays on monthly billing.
Yes.
And residences may or may not pay, depending on how they feel.
Well, it's interesting because my dad did get a place 3 years ago, and they had to put all the money up front.
Correct.
For the whole season. So it makes sense. Makes sense. Fitness IQ says, I used to do payroll for an elevator technicians, and I was like, kuya! Yeah, serious
they get paid very, very well.
Yes.
Trust me, they can't have a bad day. You don't want them to have a bad day.
No, there's a lot of gig apps for handyman services. You know what? I'm looking for a good Black handyman. I'd like to get one of those. But yeah,
there's a company called Jiffy. Supposedly, I hear about it on 1010 radio, and they have handyman by the drip, so you can pay for $150 to come in and do what you want them to do.
Okay, I'll need to.
Guarantee is going to be from the culture, but You can probably interview a few people and see
Yeah, of
who
course.
on the platform looks like us.
Okay. So how can we shift the focus from consumerism to investing in generational wealth in Black families?
Yeah, you have to get out of a scarcity mentality and get into an abundance mentality. If you think tomorrow's going to be worse than today, you're not going to save. You're going to live for today. So a lot of us are living for today because we don't believe that tomorrow is going to come. And if tomorrow comes, it's not going to be better than today. So scarcity mentality keeps a lot of people stuck in this rut of, I need to have it now. I got to go on the trip now. No one's guaranteed tomorrow. You know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to spend it. I'm going to finance my vacation. I'm going to don't pay a cent on my furniture. Don't pay a cent on my appliances. And if it blows up, I'll just declare bankruptcy or go on consumer proposal. So there's a healthy disrespect for the credit systems and for financial literacy. If there is zero or low financial literacy, if your parents came from another country and they didn't learn anything about money where they came from, and they come to Canada and they don't know anything about what's going on over here, and they taught you everything you know, then history is going to repeat itself. So what we need to do is snap that chain of lack of information of financial literacy, educate the people so they understand what's working for them and what's working against them. Because when I sit down with someone and I walk them through the financial concepts, some of them are today years old when they hear it. I say, happy birthday. They go, why? Because this is the first time you're hearing this, and you're in your 40s or 50s or 60s. The first time they're hearing is when I tell them, which is sad because they're going to the bank every day, cashing checks, getting US money, doing whatever they're doing, and they're not being told what they can do to be on offense with their money, as well as be on defense with their debts. And this is what I do. So I want people to understand that, listen, you can get it from a book. You can go to YouTube, you can get IG. There's lots of resources. Knowledge is king. All those resources are king. Context is queen. You need to know the context of the information you're getting out there, because not everything's for you. 401k is not for you if you're in Canada. RRSP is not for you if you're in the States. Roth IRA is not for you if you're in Canada. TFSA is for you if you're in Canada. You need to understand the differences and the mechanism available to you, and then build a plan on what you want for yourself. I want you to think about yourself 15, 20 years in the future. And when you're in front of that person selling you that used bag for $5,000 that was a $15,000 bag, you have to ask yourself, does buying this bag align with your future self, or who you want to be and where you want to be 10, 15 years from now? And if it does, buy the bag. Because if the bag is going to if you go buy that bag and you go to Yorkville and someone sees you with that bag and they're looking to invest with what you're doing, and the bag is a conversation piece to put you in places and spaces to get you to the next level, then buy the bag. Because the bag is now an accessory to helping you get out of where you are to the next level. But if the bag is just for your ego and for your identity, there's something called approval addiction, right? People looking for the approval of others.
Yep.
Right? And they will buy things and do things and be places they don't need to be because they need to represent a certain thing to a bunch of people that really don't care. Okay.
Solid today as always. Look, Mignon Cam says, Task Rabbit, Mr. Handyman is a franchise service. Right Way Home says, I use Jiffy for everything. Paul, you got to tell me about this if you use it for everything. Mignon Cam says, yes, the disability community is always scared, but they made an event for inclusion and sustainability. It was a big disappointment. I hope tomorrow's event is more hopeful. Fitness IQ Cam says, I hate the saying, quote, you can't guarantee for tomorrow, unquote, and lives until 80 years old. She goes, facts on what you're saying. She says, FISA as well, FHSA.
First-time homeowner savings account, yes.
There you go. Toronto is Ace Community Foundation, 4th Hotel, Voices of Blackness and Disability, Mignon Cam.
Mm-hmm.
Just Tornado says, Good Friend is one of the top general contracting plumbers for a large, well-known retail chain. He is constantly offering to mentor and teach young men. Their response, I ain't doing that type of work.
Perfect. So, hey, you know what? The kiss of death. If you ever hear this coming from me, after I give you the answer, I give you the Cadbury secret. Okay, it's a very Canadian term, the Cadbury. I give you the Cadbury secret. And you hear these words from me, keep on doing what you're doing. If you hear that from me, I'm done with you. I have no time for you. I've given you the answer to solve your problem. Because I come to people from the future. I'm 58 years old. I talked to a 21-year-old. I said, I'm going to tell you from the future what you need to do between 21 and now to surpass me 10x. And they give me the Heisman. God bless you. Keep on doing what you're doing. I'll sip my tea and eat my popcorn and watch the show from the sidelines, from the comfort of my porch. Okay? Nothing I can do.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Dr. Tachi says, yes, trades are a great way to build, but many of them don't have good business acumen. Just to get something paid electronically is often a problem with them. So they're leaving money on the table.
100%. Because
George,
being a technician is not a business owner. I'll say it again. Being a technician, being talented at one skill that you do for money is not a business. Business is all the operations. It's sales, marketing, operations, and finance. Not just the technical part, which is the operations. It's a four-legged stool. They have one big leg, their skill with their hands. But if those hands get hurt or they get hurt, money stops. How do you protect yourself and your family from that? If only they had a 6'2.5" Bajan financial advisor on the Dr. Vibe show on the first Friday of every month to tell me exactly what to do to get to the next level. If only they had it, Dr. Vibe. I don't know. If only they had it.
All right, let's move on. The comments are fire today, brother. They're fire today. They're on it. Josh Tornado says he started his company in his 20s and soon to retire it off to his sons in the 70s now. Top Houston black general plumbing contractor, but no young people interested in learning the ropes to be free. I like that. Learning the ropes to be free. I love that terminology. I got to remember that. Learning the ropes. Wayne helps you learn the ropes to be free. I love that.
I'm writing it down.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Dr. Taji says, I love Cadbury. Very English as well. Tim says, Wayne, I need to push back a little on this perspective. Encouraging black people to focus mainly on getting a degree or trade to work for someone else feels to reinforcing the very system designed.
Not saying that. I'm not saying that.
Oh wait, but he got a part two.
Go ahead.
Says by the likes of the Rockefellers, Carnegies, Fords, and Vanderbilts. These structures were never built with us in mind. Our kids are not being taught in school to think like owners, collaborate, and create businesses in areas like import, export, or manufacturing. While jobs are important, only advocating for working with someone else's dream doesn't truly move the needle when it comes to, it's not finished, he's good, building generational wealth. I don't know a single person who has achieved generational wealth or even significant wealth just from a paycheck. We need to shift the focus on create, own, and build.
Okay, so all that, I don't know where he got the idea from that I am only preaching jobs, but everything you're saying there is true, Tim. Here's the deal. There's a master apprentice model. Even Star Wars has it. You're a master Jedi or you're a Padawan. When you're a Padawan, you don't start a business. You work for a master Jedi. Then you become a master Jedi. Then you open up your shop. But people don't want to go through the steps of the apprentice to master model, right? In order to become a journeyman, you have to be an apprentice first. So you have to apprentice, learn the ropes of the craft. Then you have to learn the ropes of the business to become an entrepreneur, because entrepreneurship is not taught anywhere that I know of legitimately, because if they were doing it, they wouldn't have time to teach. So they have to learn that through osmosis from being on the ground and being mentored and then being sponsored.
All right. So Wayne unfortunately has to go in a few moments, family, but I tell you, this one has been fire today, brother. I mean, it's just like this has been fire, but just a few more final comments before Wayne has to jump off. So Dr. Tachi says, well, you can't take everyone to the mountaintop with you. Some people you have to leave at the base of the mountain that you climbed to the summit. Yep. Frequency Event Promotions greetings, Dr. Vibe and Sir Harris. And Minnie Has Your Back says, he said to be an entrepreneur. He stated with the importance of entrepreneurship. And then Dr. Taji, last comment for you today. Where would we find a 6'2" Bayesian that will tell us all what to do, though?
Exactly. Thank you, Dr. Tachi. If only.
Okay. All right. So last two, because most of the programs that create teach, create a business plan, not business operations. Big difference. And Frequency of Empire says 100% fan favorite of the trades. Once trained and certified, one can own their business for more than 100. There you go. There you go. Mr. Harris, I know you got to run. I want to say thank you for taking the most important thing, your time with us for the whole year. And I know you're back with us in the new year, so we're looking forward to us. People, I'm going to just do one quick. Last Sunday, there I am. I was having a bit of a challenging morning, and I get this message from Wayne. And Wayne just puts it in my face. Wayne comes out to my neck of the woods, Scarborough, and doesn't even tell me he had a get-together with Carolyn Nicole. Yes. I said, what are you doing that? You kept this under locks, guys?
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
I just said, but and quickly, how was your conversation with Carolyn?
Carolyn's amazing. 2 thumbs up. Wayne approved. Let me tell you, I came back from my vacation 224 pounds. As of today, under Carolyn's regiment, I am 202 pounds.
What?
22 pounds in 5 weeks.
Come on.
Believe the hype. She's a real deal.
Come on. What?
Trust me. Trust me. I'm on it. My wife is on it. My sister's on it.
Yes.
I got 2 buddies who are retired cops. They're on it. They're going to talk to her. She understands how to get results,
and she keeps on you.
Listen, I used to live in Malvern, Paulie. So don't be giving me the Scarborough. I didn't have my once I passed Kennedy, my ears popped.
Does Wayne have his Scarborough? Well, I have my Mississauga one, so you know what's all right. But Wayne, always a pleasure. Want to wish you and your family a great holiday season. Thank you for making all our lives better, and it's a blessing to know you as long as I have. And your dear sister says, indeed, Carolyn is for real.
See?
So there you go. So
listen, happy holidays to all of you. Be safe and check on your people.
Yes.
Check on your people. So if you see someone, whether they're smiling, whether they're happy, whether they're holding a drink and having a good time, just check in with your people. Pull them aside and say, "Are you good?" Just check in. Are you good? Because you might be surprised at what you hear. And people need that support during the holiday season.
Not only people, but especially our elders during the holiday season.
100%. So I appreciate you, Doctor. I appreciate the platform. Thank you all for coming and for listening and engaging. I look forward to January. This will be a lot to talk
about. Well, we haven't even had time to talk about tariffs yet and the impact on the economy. Yes. New year. Keep the faith, brother. Peace. All right, family. What, man, you family today, you went in. I mean, and I didn't even get the chance to ask Wayne all the things I wanted to. I had so many things I wanted to. Well, I didn't get to everything, but you know what? You family drove the ship. So I appreciate you all. So good stuff. And we got some few more comments here. I just show up here. Frequency of Empire says, Happy New Year, Sir Harris. Heather Harris, blessings, Vibe Nation. Blessings right back to you. I will be giving you a reach out this weekend, by the way. Fitness IQ Cam says 100. Mini on Cam, some people say fine to hide is, I can't understand that. You need to do that better for me. And Fitness IQ Cam, check on your peoples. Absolutely. Don't make assumptions. I said the story a few weeks ago. There's a gentleman who I was been delaying to call for a number of years, 83 years old. He called me about 2 weeks ago. I said I'd call him back. I knew when I called him back, I was going to get my licks. I took 2 minutes of licks, and we had an incredible 45-minute conversation. And one of my goals between now and the end of the year is go see him and spend some time with him because he is living history. So Elder Tidy, bless you. You always add great energy to me. So you're one of the people that gives me vibe. All right. So there's Wayne's contact information. All right. No problem. Take care, Wayne. All right. So we have these things to do. All right. There's a whole pile of things I need to put up on the screen here. So let's get this right. Give me a second here because there's been a lot going on today. All right. So a number of things I want to say. So for those who didn't see it, earlier on most of your platforms in the comments, there's this video, The Secret of Selling to the Negro, back in the 1950s. Check that video out if you haven't caught it. All right? All right, so let's get some things down pat. All right. Subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Please like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Yes, share it out. Tell people would love. Before the end of the year, I want to hit 1,620 subscribers, if not sooner. To advertise your business, product, or service on the Dr. Vibe Show, please email me at dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. Join the Morning Vibe Discord group. Email me at dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. Okay, let's do some things. So coming up on Monday's show, Carolyn Nicole, certified holistic nutritionist from Energy Shack Juice Bar, is going to talk about how much alcohol is too much alcohol. What else? Contact information for Ryan, RyanOneilKnight.com. LinkedIn, Ryan Oneil Knight. And that's Knight with a K-N, not N-I. K-N-I-G-H-T. Instagram at Ryan.Knight99. Email address, work with me at RyanOneilKnight.com. For myself, you can get a hold of me. Website, the drvibeshow.com. YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, The Dr. Vibe Show. Instagram, The Dr. Vibe Show. X, drvibeshow. Email address, dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. I'm on Blue Sky at drvibe.bsky. bsky.social. I got to put some content on that platform. Lots of people following me, which I'm happy for. Replays. You can watch replays of the Morning Vibe at the Dr. Vibe Show at YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and the website, the drvibeshow.com. All right. Got one more comment. I saw it. I don't know what you saw, Heather. You got to tell me what you saw. So people, you got to realize when you put a comment up, I may not get to it for a few moments. So sometimes it's hard for me to remember. So if you can put a little more context, even in brackets, what you're chatting about, that'd be great. All right. That is it. You saw the video. Yes. The Selling to the Negro video. Powerful video. And when I first saw it, I go, this is made when? It's very relevant today. Hello. All right. All right. That's it. That's all. So for those who are going to be around during the weekend, tomorrow, primetime Saturday, we're going to be broadcasting probably a little bit earlier because I have an event to attend tomorrow night. Sunday afternoon, we have Black Canada Talking. Sunday night at 8 p.m., Black Men Can Talk. I co-host with two other Black Canadian gentlemen, and we're going to be having a conversation with a very well-known DJ in the Toronto area, Black community named King Turbo. We're going to hear a little bit about his journey and plus how he does dances for young ladies, daughters, etc. So that's why you should be following us. All right. Just Tornado. Great information. Thank you. And we've got to get in touch. I guess we got to reach out because we got to get you on the platform and have you on. Thank you so much. Really respect everything you do. Thank you. That is amazing. All right. So let's get to it. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions. They aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. And just don't manage your time. Manage your energy. And then just closing out too. Today is December 6th. And in Canada, National Day for Truth and Reconciliation for those women who have been exposed to domestic violence. If you can, if you're watching on this day, please, moment of silence at 11 a.m. All right. God bless. Peace you all. Keep the faith. Walk good. And as always, don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourself grace. Aim bigger. Don't just aim bigger, aim higher, aim wider, aim larger. I butchered it today, but it's been such an incredible day. So let me do it right. Live your life as your dream. If you dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions, then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Remember, just don't manage your time, manage your energy, and remember to give yourself grace. God bless. Peace to you all. Keep the faith and walk good.